Alright everyone, it is time for the top cut of the 12th Yu-Gi-Oh! Quarantine series. Now I just went over this with you, but for the benefit of YouTube I'm going to go ahead and repeat it. We've got 8 decks in our top 8, imagine that. They are Cyber VX on Drytron, undefeated in Swiss after 6 rounds of contention, Jaxel MS on Drytron, Rhycape on Drytron, H-Carp on VW, Kurakaze on Zoo, Vin on Zoo Eldritch, Apophis GER on Unchained, and Staples 94 on Super Heavy Samurai.
This is a case where I am not going to provide anything of meaningful value here to this commentary, but we can try and just read the cards as we go, I guess, in true Yu-Gi-Oh! Player fashion.
We're gonna do our best to try, and for what it's worth, you know, I did like what I saw of the deck. You know, it's very possible that it's actually strong and good, and the player knows what they're doing for sure, which is a sight better than a lot of the other matches that we've had on stream today. So, you know, maybe.
Yeah, we will remain cautiously optimistic as we call it.
That said, I think pretty much every single time we've had an interesting deck in Top Cut, it's just completely shit the bed. Just absolutely got dunked on. But Kurakaze is playing Zoo, and if there's any deck that can do worse into a rogue matchup than Super Heavy Samurai, it's got to be Zodiac.
Yeah, so we'll see how that ends up panning out. Interesting to see pure Zoo still in the Top Cut here, given the fact that just it's been on a general downtrend in the past couple of weeks here.
I'm obviously shocked that Zoo made it in. I think in a different world, this would be like the story of the event. Like, oh my god, Zoo still in Top Cuts. But, you know, it's playing against fucking Super Heavy Samurai, so I would imagine that the Zoo player won the die roll. I don't think that, in fact, the Super Heavy Samurai player just went set for pass.
Well, no Zoo monsters in the Zoo deck here, so that is quite the start.
Alright, so apparently the Super Heavy Samurai Discord has come to view this, and they're claiming that Staples is a god, and we're all about to get shown up, so I'm excited. Step 1 is to make Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow, their new Link monster, so this card can't be Link material, and if you have no spell traps, you don't take battle damage from attacks. And again, if you have no spell traps, you could discard a monster, then target a Super Heavy Samurai in the grave to special it to a zone this card points to. Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer, if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, adds a Super Heavy Samurai monster from your deck to your hand. And fun fact about this card, it is not a hard once per turn. In fact, it's not a soft either. It's no once per turn whatsoever, but it is very susceptible to Ice Dragon's Prison.
So what we learned is Soul Piercer is the equivalent of Ben 10 for the deck.
Yeah,
apparently. So.
It's this is Ben 9. This is the slightly worse version of Ben 10. I think, do we still get to search here?
Yeah, we should if it was in response to the Soul Piercer. I didn't quite catch it, but yeah, gonna grab the wagon off of this.
Okay, so the wagon's a good card, and thank God we finally got this card after years of it not being in America. Heavy Forward coming down next. This is really interesting. It's a searcher spell for Infinitrax, which are incredible in this deck. And it also doesn't go to the graveyard, so it doesn't screw up your Super Heavy Samurai plans. At least not immediately.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, the Infinitrax are just an engine to be able to facilitate rank 9 shenanigans, and we all know where those end up going.
So, like, this is horrifying if you're the Super Heavy Samurai player, but there's no Zoo, I was about to say, and that they normal summon a Thoroughblade. Okay, now this is really bad. It could only get worse if they go into Ram Ram. Thank God they did not.
Yeah, so what's interesting here is that actually, I'm not sure if getting rid of the forward would actually be that detrimental. Maybe it could be, depending on how reliant the super heavies are to the combos. But like Dryden popping it or Zeus getting rid of it could actually be relevant.
Yeah, it could matter, but I think we're probably past the point where we really care too much about stuff in the graveyard.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Not really sure if the we know wagons in hand as well as the what was it, the brutal dozer that was searched.
Yep. So this is this individual actually, the last Quarantine series, the famous Too Many People Quarantine series, 256, they bubbled. And they were playing a version of this deck that included an FTK. Apparently there is one burn Super Heavy Samurai. that they were very reliant on. Now, thankfully, they have dropped that, so we will see if they are able to beat exactly Zeus.
Actually did take the time, the very short break that we had to actually try and look up that build, and it's actually on YouTube. You can go ahead and check that out. Basically, a turbo through like Saryuja and Curious and all these cards. Just get all three of that super heavy name that burns and just get in for lethal, which is pretty funny.
Damn, that
But
sounds terrible.
this is going for just a lot of more Earth Machine good stuff, which
Jesus. Oh, man.
is just getting met with all the interactions. Solemn Strike making an appearance here.
This is rough. I mean, if you see your opponent set 4 with no linear play starter and they're on the zoo, you know, you think, oh, good, I have a couple of turns to kind of figure out a way to get to my linear plays. But if all their back row is Solemns, I mean, what are you supposed to do about it?
Yeah, the back row of this format is just really killer. Super high impact cards. You get to make super favorable trades, even against like these rogue matchups here.
Mm-hmm. In the past, it's been against Rogue, where cards like Torrential Tribute and Solemn Strike really shined. But now that suddenly those are good against meta-relevant threats too, oh boy, control decks are just so capable.
Yeah, exactly. And even though the Zeus hasn't even fired off its effect a single time yet, it's the traps that are putting in the work so far.
Yeah, Zeus
here
is
we
just
see Gold Gadget.
Zeus is just being a big asshole, and this is the one of Gold Gadget to facilitate, I think, a platinum in the extra. They do have an Infinitrack Anchor Drill, and maybe we could use its effect to make something happen. But boy, Zeus is looking real frightening here.
This is a pretty opportune time to use it, I would imagine. I'm not sure what extenders the deck plays.
Well, here's one right here.
Than normal.
Bullet Train is an extender, but it's already on field. Like, I wouldn't feel too bad about firing it here.
For sure. Just get a lot of value. We really just one Zeus away, or sorry, one Zoo monster away from just normal summoning it and attacking for game. So worth considering.
Wow, they're letting it go. Wow, into Frame Gear Lambda. Oh my god,
No.
there's no way they have it. I mean, it's a 2 proc Zeus, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still very funny.
Imagine. All right, so here comes the Brutal Dozer.
So this deck is on 3 Gamma. You know, it could have it.
Right, so this is one of the ones that locks you into Earth Machines specifically, but he can go for the Infinitrack rank 5 here, or just go straight to the Ancient Gear link. This card's
Ancient Gear Ballista. So when this is link summoned, you get an Ancient Gear, and I think the pick here is Ancient Gear Box, which adds another Ancient Gear. And then you can target a spell trap you control and a monster your opponent controls, pop the card you control, and change the opponent's monster's attack defense to 0. So we could pop the Heavy forward, and then threaten the Zeus with the battle phase, at least proc it once, you know. What the hell is that card? I've never seen that.
Notably, Box doesn't add just Ancient Gears. It adds any Earth Machine with 500 attack and or defense, and added Soul Claw, which is basically you can equip it to Super Heavy and then summon it while it's equipped via its effect.
All right, we are going for we're going for the Ancient Gear link here, and while this is cool, I don't know how much it matters, right? Like, Zeus doing stuff pre-combat matters anyway. Wow, actually, it's going to proc another Ice Dragon's Prison. That seems super early.
Ooh, I mean, you could get rid of the Bullet Train, so it just can't proc in the end phase.
That's powerful, but I would expect the more frightening card in the graveyard is the Infinitrack Tunneler, which has all but one target, right? Oh, it needs 2 more targets, but we just added a whole bunch to hand.
So, I wonder what the follow-up is going to be, if it's just going to be battle phase to try and clear the Zeus away.
This isn't pretty. If there's a Gamma in hand, it's very punishing, because they Zeus, you can Gamma. They can Zeus again, but, like, so what? But of course there's not. Alright, I guess we're just playing, I hope my opponent doesn't have a 400 attack point monster. That seems pretty bad.
Yeah, normal Skullmeister would do it.
Yeah. Yeesh. Okay. Reborn does work, in fact. Do we have a Ghost Bell? We do not.
Appears not, and that's going to be a pretty swift game 1.
Now, I think there is a... Oh, they locked themselves into Earth. Oh, so it's not like they could have summoned Gamma anyway. I think there is a super heavy samurai that prevents battle damage, but I don't think it's playable.
Cannot confirm. My knowledge of that card pool is shockingly very limited.
Well, that was a game. That's really frustrating. Ah, obviously, it could have been anything, but double IDP Solemn Strike it's hard for any deck to beat.
Yeah, what can you do, right? There's only so much.
Mhm.
So, siding. No idea what to expect here from either player. Well, I guess it's easier for the super heavy player to side against Zoo. But
If you're Zoo, I think you just like if you're playing a control deck like Zoo, you've got to have a plan for rogue matchups, right? Like stuff that just relies on cards the way that decks from like 2015, 2014 do. Like if you interrupt their normal summon, you win the game. So you board into really high impact stuff rather than like keeping in a whole bunch of hand traps and the like, or like teched out answers. If you've got like different dimension ground, that also seems pretty crazy in this matchup. Obviously, the Soul Piercer has to go to the graveyard a whole bunch of times over the course of the turn. I'm trying to think really what else you would want.
yeah, going second's a little bit awkward. I wonder how this deck fares against Nibiru specifically.
Mhm.
If there's any insurance around it. That's something that we might be able to see if he goes unhindered. But
All right,
starting off
wagon
with
time.
a wagon, add one.
All right, so wagon doing the wagon shuffle, and there's Soul Piercer. I imagine that Soul Piercer is going to target that wagon momentarily. Yep, and we will go into the Link monster.
Link ones are just so crazy by card design. They just allow cards to go to the graveyard that normally shouldn't be as easily able to get there. But here we are,
It's like,
searching a copy of Soul Horns.
yes, Link ones are crazy because they're advantage you can get from any position, but the fact that they're also foolish is just nuts.
Yeah, and we're gonna see
Wow,
pitching the
that's a pitch.
tunneler.
Whoa, that's a
That's
great
pretty
one.
good.
This is actually the first deck where I've kind of felt convinced that Tunneler was worth playing. Because usually it's like, well, you'll never get to 5 in Infinitrack, so why would you play this card? But you get to 5 like in seconds when you're playing Super Heavy Samurai.
Yeah, and getting this Soul Horns, which is just another extender, similar to the one that he searched last game, like the big red claw guy, Soul Claw was its name. But gonna use those for an Ancient Gear Ballista, allowing for not only a search via Soul Piercer, but also potentially a search. But he didn't trigger the Ballista there, I don't think. So maybe the box is in hand already.
Oh, that's frustrating. Well, we're gonna go for Soul Peacemaker. Soul Peacemaker, terrible card, hate it. But it lets you special scales, and scales is crazy. So,
Free Reborn, just more extension.
well, the good
I'm
news
excited
is
to see.
the good news
Oh,
is
go ahead.
that Soul Piercer is a hard once per turn, so it's not like you can then get Soul Piercer and then send them to the graveyard and then search again. That'd be crazy.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. Who would allow for that to happen?
Wait, is this a rank 4? Holy shit!
Ooh.
What is the purpose of this, I wonder? I was like, oh, he's gonna go to Apo or something. We're not yet into Darks, but
Oh, there's Anchor Drill. All right. So
that's a card.
we are able to get part way towards a VFD. And
So-
Platinum Gadget will help out.
Platinum Gadget is something. I guess we're gonna special summon the Anchor Drill, right? And there's the Anchor Drill activation. This gets an Earth Machine. We'll get Brutal Dozer. Ooh, and the Transporter, there it is!
Well, sometimes the stars do align, quite literally. And here we go.
You know what they say? I mean, it do be that way. Kurakaze's like, I don't know where this is going, but I'm so invested. It's going the same place we're all going, baby. Directly to the VFD payoff.
Well, if your deck makes VFD, then it has to be at least decent, especially
Yeah.
when you can just Avarice and at the end of your combo.
Yeah, so I think we have way more than 5 here. We can put back all the extra deck monsters as well, so we draw as few of those as possible. We're looking for like a heavy forward. We haven't activated Brutal Dozer yet this turn, and we still could if we TK Calamities, Call Earth, and then pitch the Platinum Gadget like we saw Staples do in Swiss, but looks like we did not find it.
VFD is a nice card, but against Pure Zoo specifically, it's not actually the best. I mean, they could just go normal Zoo, make Dryden set back row, and be totally fine, right?
Okay, like, do they
So,
care? We could just overlay like 2 or 3 times into Dryden and then like set for enjoy your IDP.
Yeah. So We'll have to see if Kurikaze sided into like less back row in favor of hand traps, or I mean, we didn't see any hand traps like during that entire time. So
Pot's good.
Desires is a pretty good start.
So we can probably guess that there is at least a box in the Infinitrack player's hand.
Yeah, quite likely. Just given the way that the Ancient Gearling just didn't search anything.
Well, and this is kind of crusty. You can still make a 5-mat Zeus under VFD, right? Ugh, a little late, but sure.
Well, I mean, that actually can be relevant because, as you mentioned, changing the attribute to Earth could come up. So just not having access to that play might be relevant. Yeah, get a normal the rat, and then probably just ladder up into Trident.
Oh, right. Obviously, they can't make Zeus. They need their battle phase.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, normaling rat and refusing to do the Infinitrack Megaclops play. Come on. I mean, boy, am I glad that that is not a thing that people do anymore. Boy, oh boy, am I glad. If I have to be glad about anything regarding Zeus, it's that no one will ever make Megaclops ever again.
It would have been funny though. What Garuda? Holy!
What the fuck is this?
So this is MST, but it goes to the extra deck, so it keeps your graveyard clear of spells or traps. This is pretty interesting.
Stupid! I hate it. It's like it's the super heavy samurai MST. I get it.
That's so funny. Wow.
Oh jeez. I mean, why not
love to see it.
Why not eccentric? Is eccentric face up?
I don't exactly remember, but I mean, this card's funny.
IDP's
out. Ice
out.
Dragon's Prison. Maybe you could just play like both of them.
So Soul Piercer banishing Plat is pretty frustrating here.
Yeah.
You can, if you go to battle phase, proc the Dryden super early, but I struggle to think what your follow-up is going to be.
All right, so I just quickly looked up eccentric. It is any spell or trap, so you could probably just double up if you really wanted all of the back or hate.
Chat's like, Garuda's level 4, maybe? Well, yeah, that is true. I guess you can make Gear Gigant with Garuda if you have to.
No, God. No, I think Gear Gigant requires machines specifically.
But... Yeah, I was like, you're probably in a different problem. Oh, of course I can't look at it because it was put back by Anchor Drill.
All right, so we'll see now what the turn 3 play looks like from this deck. Very interested. Oh, well, if we have another wagon, that's pretty good.
Wagon's good, but seems like it's just like a magnet for Trident.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, you have to change the position in order to get the search. I see. So that might not pan out really well.
All right, last shot at Trident here. What do you think? Ooh, nope. Not going to Trident.
That works.
We have Ash Blossom. I would consider going to combat. Then in main phase 2, we can go into the link, but we don't have the Soul Piercer in grave anymore, which is very frustrating. Oh, Wagon can attack in defense position. Very stupid. Very dumb.
So I kind of do wonder, because obviously Staples knows that the Dryden is able to interact here. So the fact that he didn't go straight to battle phase to try and force the Dryden means that maybe there's a way to play past it, but the Ash might have been too much.
Yeah, I imagine. Like, you wouldn't just let it happen. Heavy Forward is a card that Dryden very specifically threatens. Yeah. It is also, unfortunately, a card that is going to get you a card you can't use because it needs an Earth Machine on field.
Right. Well, the good thing here is that Zoo is notorious for its incapability to OTK. So,
well, never mind. Alpha. Not only is there an alpha, your opponent's Kaiju remains on the field, which is just a fucking disaster.
Bouncing your own Kaijus.
Whoa, my god!
Ooh, this is risky territory.
There's no way that's the play. Wow, the hand must be dog shit.
Yeah, it must be just no Zoos.
I guess that's fair, right? It would be Alpha plus
Gameciel.
Gameciel plus one additional card. And if they don't have like a Zoo, you could probably just deck them.
That's kind of crazy. Especially because it's pure Zoo, right?
Yeah.
So, Wow, pure Zoo not drawing zoos, imagine. And a third copy of Wagon.
Some people get all the luck and still lose because their deck is terrible. Never mind, it's met with the third Ice Dragon's Prison. I think the fifth we've seen. All right, so there goes the Infinitrack Anchor Drill as well. All right,
Wow,
I mean,
but,
whatever.
I mean, if
Fine.
you're Staples, you could play this 1-for-1 trade game all day. Your opponent has 8 cards left in deck.
Oh, they found a
Until you see
Whiptail.
Whiptail.
They found a Whiptail. Let's go. I don't know how good Whiptail even is, though, right? Like, we can get to exactly Zeus, and that's got to win us the game.
Yeah, I mean, Zeus might just be it might just be a deja vu of game number 1 here, where Zeus tries to put in all the work it can and pray it's enough.
Well, for what it's worth, in that game, it was enough.
Yeah. And it's kind of in a similar game state, right? To where, the turn 1 play didn't really pan out from the super heavy player. So it's just more reliant on whatever the normal summon follow-up happens to be. And Zeusing there ends up being fairly valuable.
So going into games 2 and 3, I imagine you're on, like, some sort of monster removal. And that is going to have to come up exactly right now. Holy shit.
All right, well, here we are going into a format Zeus.
Yep, there it is. Good luck to our...
Yeah. Gonna be tough. So what do we know in his hand? We know the guy that summons itself, the Brutal Dozer, I believe.
We know Brutal Dozer, and we know...
We infer Box. We don't know for sure, but we can infer.
Box is kind of weird, right? Like, we could normal Box go into Dozer, but that requires a lot to go right, and our opponent not to shotgun stuff. But again, like, there's no impetus for them to shotgun anything, because Zeus is a kill over the course of 3 turns. Like, that's a ton of time for them to find stuff. Soul Peacemaker is a very strange one.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to go for the play now. And see how far he can get.
All right, going into the link here.
Yeah, that was shuffled back, and this can get. What can we get out of graveyard here? I guess Wagon.
I mean, none of them are very good. Solemn Strike, you gotta be kidding me.
Just never stops. Can't catch a break.
All right, I think you're fine passing here. Like, are you really going to get OTK'd? It seems unlikely. Your opponent has to draw exactly a zoo. They've banished 90% of their deck. They're playing off the top.
I mean, it's possible, but it's going to be tough. I mean, how well can you defend? Is the question. There's one Zeus hit.
Did we draw a trap card?
Yeah, if Zeus draws like another strike, they are very, very favored.
Oh, wow. What a rip.
Yeah, there is one way to ensure that you're going to be drawing more Zeus. Well, the exactly one rat that he shuffled back, but... And nothing. Okay, so... Gonna relax here, I guess, for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Alpha and Gamma Seal in Zeus' hand. And then there's still the Brutal Dozer. Oh, set pass. You hate to see it.
Jesus. 1,000,000% chance that's the box. Yep.
Yep.
All right, draw the rat and get us out of this game. Thoroughblade will do it. Wow,
And
that was not close.
This is what one would expect.
Yeah.
But, I mean, given the fact that he was like, what, X1, right?
Yeah, this player was X1 after 6 rounds of contention. But
you gotta give it to them, right? Yeah.
Couldn't make it happen. This was also the matchup I think they wanted. I think, in my opinion, it's the weakest deck outside of literally the deck that they played that still exists in Top Cut, but couldn't make it happen. And you know, I'm not particularly surprised if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort, but in the end, the strikes and the Ice Dragon's prisons were really the heavy lifters here in this matchup.
Hello, everybody. It is time for the semi-final match of the 12th Yu-Gi-Oh! Quarantine series. I am Joseph Rothschild, and I am, as always, joined by SirEmanon, the inventor of the SirEmanon YouTube channel. How are you doing here today?
Doing about as fantastically as possible now that we have gone down to the wire, and the decks remaining are ones that I don't have to sit down and read all the cards for anymore.
Yeah, listen, chat, I love you. You know, I would be nowhere without chat. Obviously, I appreciate all that you do and the viewership that you provide and the money that you hand me in the forms of Twitch Prime subs, which you can, of course, always spend at twitch.tv/MBTYugiO. But why did you make us watch that one? I wanted to watch the Unchained match. Oh, it was at least a 2-1. Our top 4 is up, and we've got a big surprise. Cyber VX on Drytron, H-Carp on Volkswagen, we've got Kurakaze on Zoo, and we've got Rycape on Drytron. And folks, I'm overruling you. I want to watch the Drytron VW match. I apologize. We just saw the Zoo one. I don't want to watch it 3 rounds in a row. I would really like to see VW before it is potentially gone forever. And if we have to cast 2 VWs in a row, that's fine with me.
This is no longer a democracy.
This was never a democracy. We just didn't think that Zoo would use 5 Ice Dragons Prison and 2 Strike, and yet you voted for it again! Alright, so we have got, I believe Hakuo has won the die roll, and then passed their turn. Man, they must be the VW player, because who else would do that shit?
Well, Virtual World can put up 2 VFDs in a turn, or literally just pass.
Ah, man. This deck is so feast or famine, my god. Alright, so the big, statement out of, or the big, invention out of the last 2 weeks has been Drytron, and, today represents another attempt at making this deck as consistent and powerful as it can possibly be. It's a weird deck that's clearly full of extremely powerful and unfair cards that people are just struggling to figure out a best build for. Now, Rycape, I believe, is on the Megalith version of the deck, as opposed to the Herald or Ultimateness version. How do you feel about that, I suppose, would be my question.
It's pretty interesting, because I think that the Megaliths, their position really depends on how the format is developing, right? Because if you have a lot of like floating threats, most of the time the Megalith engine is only really getting used to bet more, and against certain matchups like Eldritch, that ends up not being as impactful. But on the other hand, Full is a crazy card. It's recursion and it's interruption all in one. And just having access to like a very contained package is cool. But on the other hand, having the ability to just play one of Ritual Toolbox cards, such as the Herald, is also like a neat aspect to have. So, but it looks like none of that's happening, because we're just going Manju, Chaos Valkyria, Beatdown, and sitting on like maybe a rank 4.
This is what I like. Yes, obviously, the 2 combo decks in the format, VW and Drytron. If you want to call VW combo, I don't really know what I would call it. Mid-range Kappa. But it's fun that both of them, unlike combo decks of like the last 2 years, have the ability to brick and have the ability to be stopped by single hand traps. Like, sometimes they open fair, and that's not something we've been able to say about the best combo deck in the format for years.
Yeah, you're looking at 2 of what are purported to be the best decks in the format, and one of them went pass, and the other one went Dweller pass.
Like, so... obviously, I'm not trying to pimp myself at all given times, but if you're interested, the Jank Tank has put together a meta snapshot in the style of Pojo using the available tournaments, even though there have been very few, and clearly these 2 are outliers along with Eldritch in terms of what is playable, and I mean, they are just staring at each other. They're just looking.
This is when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, but you get another Benton in circulation, and then that just breaks everything.
Yeah, absolutely. We might even have another Ash. I mean, what realistically could be in the hand? Oh, well, Bell. Yes, that's a good one.
Well, you can stop the Drytrons from coming out, but if you can't play the game yourself, then Dweller will certainly get in there eventually.
So we've already done Chaos Valkyria and Manju, so what do we have left? Jesus Christ!
Oh
was that necessary? I feel like there's like maybe 1 target left and it's Ruler. Like, saving the Ash for something like this might have been a little more important.
Yeah, so here is going to be the search for likely alpha, or it's going to be gamma just to put pressure.
That's a strange one. Oh, good. We have all
Oh,
three Bentens. Awesome.
so yeah, that is. I would imagine it's interesting because both of those, or one of those, had to have been in hand from last turn.
Are these
So
these are the best combo decks the format has to offer? Is combo dead forever? I mean, should also stress these are the best decks. You know, like it's not like these are like you know, the 3 or 4 pendulum players like scraping resin out of like Electromite's crevices, trying to get playability out of a list that's clearly past its prime. Like this is arguably the best deck. It just also happens to occasionally brick.
yeah, we got to slow down here. They're making Yu-Gi-Oh look almost fair.
Disgusting. We're going to go Ava into Union Carrier, and this should make it look a little less fair. Ava allows you to add 2 cards from your deck to your hand. We're just going to get one here, the Herald of Orange Light, and then this Union Carrier, I think, is going to equip a Dawn Knight from deck.
A little interesting because, as far as we know, there is no Medianus Drytron in circulation, so not really a good way to. Oh, except it just boosts itself to, I think, lethal range.
Oh, we could just walk in for lethal? Okay.
Yeah, it's a 57.
I was like, well, I guess we have Meteorist Drytron in circulation if we go, like, Zeta into Linkuriboh, Reborn itself. Oh, or we could attack. Right, that's the win condition in Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course.
This is 900 over lethal.
Hmm. Okay, well, you know, this is very strange. 2 decks operating at all cylinders, firing at full capacity, no meaningful hits to either archetype, working as Konami intended, and they just attacked with Abyss Dweller without activating the effect 2.5 turns in a row and won. That was the whole game.
This is like some of those videos that Konami used to do where they would like showcase new archetypes, right? And this is like this is what you would see on the video. Is just like summon a monster, pass.
Can we get, like, Jerome commentating?
I mean, that's basically what we got here, right?
Right, yeah.
So all we saw from Virtual World Game 1 was 2 Ash and a Ghost Bell.
So let's see if they can, like, draw a Kaloon this time. Apparently not, but Nian Nian is a start. Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Nian Nian
starting
into
with
Lao
Lao.
Lao. Okay, fine. I mean, we've all been there. So I imagine we're going to bin Qinglong here. Yep, there it goes.
That is, yeah, not the optimal sequence. But you do what you got to do, I guess.
And I mean, you know, Shen Shen is really good against Drytron. You know, we could probably still make it to VFD. It's still killer. It's just, when you know the ceiling on these decks, it makes it really frustrating when you have to see the floor.
Yeah, opening double Nian. Well, the 4 was pass on.
I guess that's true.
But,
yeah, it could have been a lot worse. We could have done whatever happened to game 1.
This is at least a combo. So Lulu going to be targeting the Nian here.
Mm-hmm.
Could send Chuche, search Kowloon. That could be decent.
Oh, maybe. There's the first half.
That's like one of the best ways to just get value because you're able to level modulate and get the Chuche interruption.
Mm-hmm. We get
And
to
then
fire
here
the
comes
Nian, too.
Nian in the process.
So we've got 2 9s worth of material on our field.
We got quite a lot of tuners, though.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the biggest problems with like Lao Lao Open specifically is you just end up on like 4 tuners. And you're like, what am I supposed to do with all these tuners? We saw Caryondriax earlier today, which is a hilarious way to deal with that problem, but I don't think it's necessarily good.
So the way you can do this here is you can go the Nian that's a non-tuner plus the Lao into Shen Shen, then reduce the Shen Shen by 3 with the Chuche, then use that plus the other Nian that is a tuner to make Cloud Castle.
Yeah, Cloud
you can go
Castle
BFD.
resolves like most of these problems, right?
Yeah, it's not the best way to do it because that's oftentimes your Nibiru insurance, but you do what you got to do when you open Nian Lao Lao.
Sheesh.
So thinking a little bit here.
Ooh, do they have the material to go into like a Gossip Shadow first?
That might be the line of thinking. That would most likely require another extender.
No, it looks like they're not doing it.
Going to charge, maybe? Yeah.
Sure. So we'll go charge into Shen Shen.
I do wonder what if this player is on the Ultimaya build. We've seen that still a little bit, but not as much anymore.
Looks like
But here
not.
comes the Shen.
Yeah, I'm not a super big fan of the Ultimaya build for pretty obvious reasons. I think it's like fine, but it seems like there's so much better stuff you could be doing.
It's
Uh,
never guaranteed to be a play, right? So he's gonna raise the Lao instead, and
and
then go
like,
for VFD.
what exactly spell traps do you want to be setting? It has always been my problem with it.
Yeah, it's like hard drawn Chuche maybe.
All right, well, this is not pretty, but it is True King of all calamities.
Yeah, and sometimes that is enough. So
Oh, we made it to end phase even. No, Nibiru.
we got at minimum 2 interruptions. Well, 1 interruption in addition to a floodgate.
So we're going to discard the Shen Shen, and we do have that Chuche online, so even if there's a Gamma, there's not a lot you can do.
Gonna be calling light, obviously, against Drytron. And, well, good luck, I guess.
This is Yu-Gi-Oh, you know? If you're not bricking, you're getting bricked.
Now, notably, there is no Qinglong in the graveyard currently for VW, so the follow-up is exclusively in the hand.
Ooh, that could be a problem.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't think there was ever really a good opportunity because there were only 2 VW hand effects last turn. The Lao sending the Qinglong and then the Lulu sending the Chuche to grab Kowloon.
Yeah, nothing was really missed last turn, except for maybe like at the very end. Calling light again just says like, I don't want to deal with orange light or anything. We're trying to go for the OTK here, and good luck to you.
Yeah, if there is a line, then gotta go for it now.
Yeah. ZZ's a good start.
Yeah, GG pretty good. So that resolves the problem of no Qinglong Engrave. Also can allow Nian to come back if we desire. There's also Shen Shen.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, how much damage is this on board right now?
Well, expecting the set card is like a hand trap or something.
Yeah, actually, there's not a whole lot that could be set in Drytron. There's only a limited subset of cards, so pretty interesting. Oh, he has Lala. Okay, so this is definitely a game then.
Sure, yeah. It's like, oh, okay, so the hand had 2 Laulau in it. Fine. That explains turn 1.
Oh, that is a rough one. We could just go Lao and then make like Vermilion and then pop and then revive Shen Shen. That's game.
Yep. Vermilion has been such a weird inclusion in Virtual World because it strikes me as the worst card that is seeing this amount of play ever. It's just like, it's such a bad card, but it fulfills such a specific purpose and such a necessary one in Virtual World specifically. It's like, well, we do have to play it. And it is really.
I mean,
good.
it is cool that like remove. Oh, hello, going for Juju. Right, Juju send is also a thing. That's
sure. Funny. Yeah, never mind. It really sucks that like Virtual World has become like a vehicle for VFD because oh, it was the orange light. Wow. Because Juju is such a cool card. Their tribal like links and synchros and exes, they're awesome, and they are just all in service to VFD at this point.
Yeah, it's like fans of Mini Trish, and then you have Jaja, which is like DD Warrior Lady that can't die by battle.
Jaja is so sweet. It outspoons.
Like it's all like different forms of removal, and like none of them are really negations, but none of that matters again in the face of VFD. Like you
right,
said.
It's like, damn, that's really cool. Anyway, I will turn off all of your effects.
Well, here is well over lethal damage, and we're gonna be moving into game 3.
Wow. So we are 1 short game away from a prevention of the Drytron Finals lockout. Whoa. I'm excited.
And before the finals happens to be VW versus Zoo.
Oh, please. I please, could we get a Drytron in fucking finals?
Yeah, I would like to cast Drytron at least once here. That would be nice, but only time will tell, I suppose. So this build, actually, do we know if this build is on, you said this build's on Megaliths, right?
It is, yes.
So it's interesting because like we don't traditionally see, well, we don't universally, I should say, see the Herald of Orange Light.
The orange lights, yeah. Well,
so it's interesting to find space.
I will let you in on a little secret. It is not a normal megalith package.
Oh boy, are we playing like Oak and Haggith and like all these cards?
No, it is smaller than your average megalith package. It is
Is it one
playing.
full, one Bathor?
It's one Fool, one Bathor, one Ophiel, one Aeratron, which is sure. And
Okay.
there is another weird part of this list. In one, I can't believe this. Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon.
That's right. Oh yeah, we did see. Didn't we see that earlier?
We did. Oh, and
Okay.
the Skullmeister coming down in response to the. I think this is the alpha. Jesus,
Yeah, that
that's
is
that's true pain.
pain until you get a
Never
copy
mind.
of Benton anyway.
Fuck it. Never mind. We just get Ben 10 anyway.
You know, this is like almost.
Never
Oh,
mind.
God,
Oh,
right.
eat pants. Here's the Ash Blossom.
Man, that's comedy right there.
Oh my
Oh,
fucking god.
mine.
Let's see the imperm too.
I'm up.
Okay, let's
Oh,
go. My kingdom for a hard once per turn on anything. I guess these were all different effects. So we haven't used Zeta yet. We can tribute the Ben 10. And Ghost Bell! 3 hand traps. This is
but
like
now
the perfect Drytron grip into 3 hand traps. They still might get to do something. That's the weirdest part. They could go like Chaos
Du-
into Abyss Dweller.
Dweller, yeah.
That's still pretty good.
So actually, I kind of wonder if this could have been actually sequenced a little bit differently because you
Whoa.
can ghost. Oh,
Why would they get
searching
Ava?
Ava. Oh no, just passing.
Is it Orange Light in hand? Holy fuck.
Oh, that would be actually kind of wild.
Okay. Oh wow, all that and it. Oh well.
Oh no.
I was like, they opened 3 different hand traps and Yan Yan and a virtual world. Apparently not.
Best decks in the format, by the way.
Let's go, 15 over 14, baby.
So notably, the preparation of rites actually could have gotten ghost spelled because it adds a ritual spell from grave to hand.
That's so funny.
if that were the case, and then the Manju was ashed instead, that would have prevented an initial Benten search that might come
Holy
back
shit!
to matter.
What are we doing? Are we
Well,
making
we're no
charge?
ash.
Tell me we're making charge with this to try and get us out of this fucking game. Yes! Oh god. Yep. As
Yeah,
expected.
we kind of knew that was coming. Yeah.
You don't search Ava for no reason. Okay, let's fire the Ava here. We'll banish 2. Why not? I mean, it's not like we're keeping him for anything. Let's see the Ash.
What do you
The
s-
third Ash.
Oh no. Oh, not like this.
Yep! Yep!
Ash turn 1, normal summon Ash turn 4, and then Ash again.
I fucking
Jeez.
love Yu-Gi-Oh, man. So the funniest part is that both players have like single cards that just end the game. Fool
Oh.
is not one of them, but it's
Yeah.
still pretty strong.
So getting access, using the Zeta first actually instead of the Alpha, that's quite interesting. Because if you'd used Alpha first, oh, we're saying oops in the chat. Yeah, that was a little bit of a missequence because that could have grabbed another Benten and then Zeta could have attributed it and then get the Meteor Strytron. But this way is a little bit backwards.
So
Before
we
still
actually
lose a Zeta.
we
on the
don't
board,
have
yeah.
another Drytron Engrave, right? We're like missing Gamma access or whatever.
Right, yeah. It's like, so we need to find another way to somehow put a body on board.
This is a good one. Fool is going to add back the Ben 10. And I think we just have to make it through this single turn. Oh, wait, are we fooling now? For what?
Yeah, but we can get Ophiel, right? Yeah.
Sure. Ophiel pitching Ben 10 so we can trigger Ophiel for an Aeratron. That's what they've been doing
And
the
trigger
entire
Ben 10.
game.
Yeah.
What's our Ben 10 hit here? If we get Chaos, we can still make like a Abyss Dweller with the Ophiel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have a
more Manju.
second Manju. Wow.
Okay.
There's the Aeratron.
And now we have the ability to possibly make a Union Carrier, although the Meteor Strytron is engraved.
Mm-hmm. This is decent.
This is just like kind
It's
of
Natasha.
awkward. Here's Natasha.
It is because like clearly they're so ahead. Their opponent's on 1 card. Now they're on like 12. But never mind.
Well, that's VW.
Shit. All right. Well, you better draw something. So the weird part about this is like I don't even know how really good it is. Like they have Natasha, they can go for Alpha next turn. They need a starter right the fuck now, and they clearly don't have it.
VW literally cannot top deck singular cards unless it's desires into more cards.
Yeah, we're gonna go for Alpha here, pitching the Ben 10. Alpha's gonna trigger. I think we have Bathor remaining in deck.
Yeah, well, grabbing another Ben 10. Ben 10 searching.
There's
yeah,
the
this is
Valkyrie.
just.
I was like, finally.
So much here.
So Meteorus targeting the Alpha. We'll get that sucker back. We'll go for
Zeta
the
can
Zeta tributing the
Yeah.
Natasha. So we can Dratron back the Natasha. We can gain 35 and then Natasha for the Rock. And then we are just one monster away from lethal.
Barring exactly another top decked Nibiru.
Have we done 5 yet? I know there's Union Carrier.
This is
it,
4,
right?
I think.
So
or this could be 5. I didn't keep track.
We Union Carrier for a Dawn Knight or whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. Anything to give it 1,000 more attack. We Natasha from grave to take the Rock, and then we switch them all to attack and say, please do not have anything.
Yeah. Oh, misclicked Alpha. I don't think it'll matter.
We're so far past the point of it mattering.
All right, well, better have it, I guess.
Gaining more life. What's a hard once per turn, by the way?
Yeah, might as well. All right. And that is going to do it right there.
Wow, I can't believe it. VW falling to Drytron. That was a lot of back and forth for two decks that were supposed to just be determined based on who won the die roll.
Yeah, back and forth being Ash, Bell, Nibiru, Meister.
That was such a sweet hand, Meister, Ash, Bell, until we realized the other two cards were also Ashes. At that point,
that was actually
terrible.
5 hand traps, by the way.
Straight up 5 hand trap opener. Oh, jeez. It happens, I suppose. VW, you could play 3 of every card and still just whiff them. Well, folks, it all comes down to this. It's been 10,000 years since we started. But we've done it. We've made it to the final match of the final Yu-Gi-Oh! Quarantine series. Now, I am still running the tournaments after this year. I don't want to call them the Quarantine series because ideally, at some point in the immediate future, there's going to be like a vaccine or something. Or the return of paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever you want. But the important thing that we need to recognize is that today is not about me. It's not about my co-caster SirEmanon, who is here as well. Hello, SirEmanon.
Hey.
It's about 2 individuals who are actually good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing each other. I'm talking about CyberVX, aka Leonard the Younger, versus Rycape, both of which have won YCSs. These are 2 former Quarantine Series champions facing off to determine what dog shit deck they're going to make me play. I know Rycape has some like Mambo tier nonsense in their back pocket, and Jason is going to ask his father what terrible stun deck I should play. So not really pulling for either of them, and their decks don't give us any reason to pull for them either because they're both on Drytron. We get to cast a mirror for finals.
This is not particularly unexpected, but can't say it's like really enthusing either.
Yeah. Like, Drytron was the second most represented archetype after Eldritch. 3 copies in the top 8, and big surprise, 2 of them made it into finals. And now we are, we're going to watch them, I guess.
I mean, if anything else, or if nothing else, this proves that the deck has very good staying power within the format, especially given the fact that I still don't think it's particularly optimized.
Yeah.
Or at least there's not a consensus.
Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't feel finished, You've got, Jesse Cotton's, Herald build. You've got, Elise's Megalith build. You've got variations between the 2 of them. You've got some that are playing all of it. And these 2 people, even though they're both playing Drytron, are playing very different versions. So, there is a lot to talk about, even though we are casting a mirror.
So, it looks like, starting off the way Drytron normally starts off with Ben 10 in circulation and 2 Drytron names.
Yep. So I guess I can talk a little bit about the differences between their decks. Rycape is playing, and I think this fixes the name issue. Rycape is playing a version with Artifact Scythe at 1 of in the main to be able to search off Benten. They are playing Heralds, 3 orange and 1 purple. They're playing Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon to close games, which is ridiculous and definitely not good. They're playing Instant Fusion, 4 Megaliths at 1 apiece, so they can get the largest Bathor possible. Trying to kind of have their cake and eat it too by playing every single version of the list at once.
It really seems like trying to maximize on the word or the concept toolbox.
Yeah. And, you know, it's clearly worked out for them, but you can't help but think how much is them being a really good player. Inversely, Cyber VX is playing a very normal version on pretty much the maximum amount of each Drytron you can play without getting laughed at online. Plus Vanity's Ruler, plus 3/1 of Herald of Orange and Purple, and end goal of making Herald of Ultimateness, which is just an insanely powerful end boss that we haven't gotten to see since... When was the last time people unironically made Ultimateness? Was it when the Stick Chair was Perfection? Have people ever made Ultimateness?
I don't think so, just because like it wasn't as consistent as just going for Herald of Perfection, because pre-prep is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
But or rather, like specifically Dawn of the Herald is like the stronger ritual spell. Oh,
Wow.
He's on Vanity's Queen too.
And
or
this
Vanity's
is
Ruler, sorry.
This is such a choice hit. In the mirror, Vanity's Ruler is absolutely killer because I don't think Rycape is playing anything like Infinite Impermanence. And yeah, just a surrender out of Rycape in the first 5 seconds. He says, well, I don't have an out to that. Let's go to game 2.
You know, that is fair enough, I guess. I really do wonder, because there are some flex spots, admittedly not many, but there are some in the build, depending on which one you're opting for. We saw, for example, Jesse Cotton's LCS build was main decking Triple Lancia.
Mm-hmm.
So I do wonder if there's going to be adaptations to have more hate for the mirror, or just in general try and like have outs to Vanity's Ruler going second.
And of course, we
and
know
the interesting thing. Go ahead.
Of course, we know what those flex slots are being used for in in Rycape's list. It's Chaos Max Dragon. So, like, good luck. I don't know how likely that's going to be.
Chaos Max Dragon is an out to Vanity's Ruler if you just don't read.
You know, I guess it is. I suppose it is.
All right, well, here comes Emergency, and this is a pretty solid start. Alpha Zeta is quite good.
Mm-hmm.
This is the minimal setup that you need, really, because it gets you access into the entire Union Carrier play by itself. Ooh, but Psycho Reader coming down. Nice.
Holy shit. Does it do what we want? Oh!
Nope, because a Herald of Orange Light.
Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. The most controversial hand trap of all time. Because no one can agree on if it actually works or not. But if Ben 10 is moved mid-chain, then I believe it doesn't actually get its search effect, correct?
Right, because it moves locations from where it is meant to trigger, even though it doesn't specify graveyard. So because the Drytron tribute for cost, they're no longer in the location where they are meant to be for the Ben 10 specifically. But none of that matters when you get a Herald of Orange Light. But you get a Manju as follow-up, which is pretty decent.
Orange Light is such a silly inclusion in these decks, but like the fact that you just, once the Ben 10's in circulation, you just plus all the way to infinity means that you can take a minus early on to have like this insane Omega Gamma. Sometimes you get to pitch a Drytron, right? Oh no, you don't, because they're machines, but you know, sometimes you get to pitch a Ben 10 that just works its way back into circulation with something like the Ritual Spell anyway, and God, it feels so good. Like scenarios like this, boy does it feel good.
Yeah, and here comes the follow-up. We got Ben 10 again. So opening a lot of Ben 10s, because one of them was also pitched for the Herald of Orange Light as well.
Mm-hmm. For a Ben 10.
There's the last one, I believe.
We're gonna link some stuff and then use the Fool to turn that Ben 10 into an Ophiel, maybe?
Perhaps. We also have not used Meteonis Drytron, so we're going to do that real quick. We can also go for Carrier if we want to go for Delta.
We've got so much shit to do. Oh my god.
I mean, we opened Foolish Alpha Zeta. That's
That's pretty strong, yeah.
quite good. Yeah, it was what, Foolish, Alpha, Zeta, Herald, and Ben 10. So I actually like the fact that the way this was sequenced, actually, a lot of people I think would knee-jerk use Alpha tribute away Ben 10, but that actually gets rid of the fairy in hand needed for the Herald Orange Light, because it was functionally 3 Drytrons, Herald Orange Light, and Ben 10 in hand. So it was actually really good sequencing to just play around potential hand traps there.
Damn, I was. You said there you would, think you would just want to send Ben 10, and I just like in my head went through it, and I was like, oh, I would have sent Ben 10, 1,000,000%. I would never have even thought
exactly.
crossed my mind to play around anything.
Super rewarding here. Like you can see, just exactly, he's still getting so much value, but not having to lose out like instantly to the cycle redo.
Hmm. Revealing the Ben 10 to draw a card here and triggering the Ben 10 to get. I don't know. What do you want?
Any manner of ridiculousness.
Ava. All right. Well, we're gonna see if this version holds up. Mirage Lights has hit the field. Let's go.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. It's really especially good in the Megalith build because it has to add different names from graveyard back to hand.
Right.
So this adding back Megaliths is pretty neat.
All right, so there's Aeratron, and Aeratron means that even if Fool gets negated, we can go into Bathor. Scythe is kind of funny. We can set Scythe and then overlay for Tornado. Is that the play here? That's super cute.
Yeah, I think the cool thing is that what Rycape's build, I feel like, is aiming to do is play around as many board breakers as possible, because this board doesn't really lose to Dark Ruler. And like, because you have the Aeratron in hand, like you mentioned, and you also have Tornado Dragon to pop Scythe. So there's a lot of things to be able to play around, just like ways that are traditionally meant to break the board.
Yeah, this is a pretty unassuming board. You've got the 1 negate and Herald of Mirage Lights. You've got the Fool on field that turns into a Bathor, and you've got the Tornado Dragon. But like, in practice, Domain Lock plus a negate plus 3-4 pops is way, way more than enough to win the game. Yeah, and just a surrender on the backswing. Wow, and folks, we have made it into Game 3 in record time. They're speed running this final.
This is Yu-Gi-Oh.
They're really making transporting this to a VOD way easier. Thank you so much, both of you.
My goodness. So actually, the cool thing, or the interesting thing rather, is that Rycape said towards the end that Dweller possibly was better, and I think I would tend to agree in the mirror match because shutting down Ben 10 is
it's functionally
the same, right? Yeah, because like Drytron uses the extra deck somewhat, but it's not necessary, and there might have been a way out of it. Maybe Jason's hand just wasn't good enough.
All right, so it looks like I Actually Exist will win the fantasy pick if Cyber VX wins, and an unnamed person who submitted a list called Daddy Rycape will win if Rycape lists. Someone please tell me who you are.
All right, I guess the jig is up. It was me the whole time.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
Yeah, we were skipping this whole finals. I'm sorry to break it to you. And here comes the cyber emergency.
I imagine that this is Jason here. We're going to go cyber emergency for Alpha.
Both players actually on over 40 cards. I just noticed. It's pretty interesting.
I
mean, you have so many different ways to access Drytrons. I guess you can afford to.
42 and 44. That's pretty cute.
Well, here comes Drytron Nova as well as Emergency, and that is
that's dope.
More than what is needed. And let's see, Alpha I believe was this previous search, so this one can grab Zeta.
Don't tell me you have Cycle Reader, Droll, and Imperial Order in hand.
Does his hand FTK through 6 hand traps? That is the question. How comes Delta, actually? This hand has to be stacked. The only thing missing is a Ben 10, but I mean, we can just alpha for it if we don't have access to it.
Oh, Rhycape's on the 44. Good. If you summon Delta with Nova, you're just flexing. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go for Alpha here, pitching Natasha. That's something.
Well, it's not the best, but I mean, it gets you to Ben 10 eventually.
Yeah, it's like anything that makes Ben 10 is probably fine. Let us bet channel points. You can. You can influence this one with channel points.
So what I find interesting actually is the fact that Natasha was a tribute, and it wasn't Zeta, which could tell. Yeah, I was gonna say which could telegraph Meteor's Dratron already in hand. Because like there could have been a clear, like you could have gone Zeta and done the same play, except just this Delta is a Zeta instead, and it would have ended up being the same. But obviously, if you have Meteorus, you don't need to do that. We can just trigger Ben 10 here and go for carrier and do the whole thing.
Wow. This is a heck of an open. And the time for interaction is over. If you had Cycle Reader, you have missed your opportunity.
So, all right, we are now able to just search Herald of Orange Light here as additional insurance potentially. So we know 2 of the cards in hand. We don't know the other 2.
All right, there's Union Carrier. I don't think anyone but Jason was on Cycle Reader this tournament, LOL. Yeah, true. He says, I respected the hell out of this deck, and was right to do so. It is closing out finals.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that...
Oh, in hand!
I guess it could be worse.
We do have it at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that a card like Cycle Reader that's only applicable in this specific matchup is impactful enough to be warranted in this list.
Yeah. All right, Dawn Knight
time. Ben 10 again. We've seen this before. This is going to be the new Martial Metal Marcher, by the way.
It's like looping
I've seen this play before.
All right, we sent Gamma here, obviously. We can Gamma sending the Ben 10, and Ben 10 will trigger for the 4th time this turn.
Yep. Gonna summon itself. Another Drytron name. I do wish there was like... It would be cool if there was a rank 1 to go into turn 1 that was like actually good, but...
No respect for Kichigumi Fucho. And trying for the Vanities play once again, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, if it worked once, might as well try it again.
I mean, realistically, you would think that Rhycape has brought something in to deal with it, and I'm sure they have, but... Ugh, going for Ben 10 again, wow.
Yeah, because you can make Verte here, use Verte effect to make Dragoon, and then tribute summon the Vanities Ruler over the Dragoon, or sorry, over the Verte plus the Ben 10, and then trigger Ben 10 again.
What?
And you end on Dragoon Vanities Ruler.
Wait, whoa. Ben 10?
Oh, he's doing this.
Ben 10 doesn't require you to tribute it for a ritual?
Nope.
Holy shit, you can tribute summon this card in Procket?
Yep, and it also works if you get Nibiru, by the way. If you get Nibiru and this card's on field, you get a search.
I hate Yu-Gi-Oh, man. I fucking hate this.
That's why I'm here to disappoint you even further than you already were. That's the only reason I'm on stream.
All right, Ben 10 back to hand. Just make a very early Vanities Ruler, I suppose.
Do we know Jason? Was Jason the one on Dragoon?
Jason is on Dragoon, yeah.
So interesting that we're not opting to go for it. Oh, well, and I guess they misclicked to search there too off the Ben 10.
I imagine they might have been going for like Valkyria.
Yeah. Yeah, Valkyria also makes Dragoon here. Oh, or we could just Fafnir for Nova. That we had in the hand.
I think we've already Nova'd this turn.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did. We got a Delta off it. That's correct.
All right, beat Vanity's Ruler pass.
Here you go. I mean, to be fair, this isn't the most imposing, although we know Herald of Orange Light's in hand.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That is a good one. Oh god. Wow, that's devastating.
Gamma Benton. Ooh. It's not the best one to start with, but it's not bad.
I mean, you're I'm like, you're so far ahead, but you do have to OTK through Linkuriboh this turn, or you are going to be 100% killed.
Yeah, we know. I'm pretty sure we know Benton in hand as. Yeah, we know Benton in hand as well. So we know Benton, Herald of Orange Light, and I feel like we should know the last card, but I just wasn't paying full attention. But regardless, yeah, this is gonna have to be quite a strong push.
Well, it's good to know that like the Verte Anaconda actually didn't matter because they just opened
Droplet, yeah.
Droplet, yeah.
Maybe that means the last card in his hand is Red Ice Fusion.
Oh, it could be like a power play.
All right, well, there goes the Herald. Interestingly, on the Manju, I think that's fine. It's a normal summon, and when your opponent starts with Gamma, like that means it's not all.
Yeah,
there's me.
That's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
bad. Yep. So Ophiel gets Fool here. We could Fool to put the Ben 10 back, and that last card does have to be exactly a Drytron to keep going, though. I think.
Yeah, but you would think that if it was, it would have been the one that was pitched for the Droplet, right? And you don't start with Gamma.
It would have to be like Delta, right?
Yeah.
Or Zeta, because we already had the Ritual spell.
That's true. So I guess because hard opening the Ritual spell and not seeing specifically Alpha makes us just a lot more scuffed than it normally would be.
Oh no, the zone. Wait, that's in the Geonator Transverser zone. Wait.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Make Transverser.
Oh yeah, Transverser take Ruler and just let it sit.
They literally can't beat it. Wasn't ready to beat his own Transverser.
That is why you put all your stuff into the rightmost main monster zone if you want to protect it.
I think they're actually one material off. They would need something to put at the zone for it to happen.
But imagine how funny that would be.
It would be so funny.
And this is where we need the second Ophiel so we could full summon it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, gosh.
What?
Oh, whoa.
Wait.
Summoning Aratron.
Okay, so Ben 10 triggers here. You can get, like...
Not even Bethor.
I have no idea. So, what is the purpose of getting Aratron here? You're getting Ava. During the main phase, you could do... It prevents targeting?
Right?
That sounds terrible.
Wait, this doesn't even clear the Vanities
You
Ruler.
can walk over it with the Vanities Ruler next turn.
Wait.
It's a second...
This is really weird.
It's got to be a second Droplets, right?
But yeah, but like that doesn't stop any of the follow-up. Like,
yeah, that's...
Oh, this game got weird.
Never
put. No, God.
Never am I ever punished. So that the card in hand has to be like Bathor, right? Do we know the card in hand?
Aratron pitches itself to Ritual Summon, right?
Yeah.
So how are you getting Bathor out?
I mean, like, it'd have to be Bathor, because wouldn't they just go into Bathor otherwise?
Oh, I guess. But doesn't... Yeah, full summons from hand, too, so it could have done that. I don't know.
Very strange. Very odd.
But regardless, when your opponent top decks Preparation of Rites and gets to add back the Medium Drytron and another Benton to hand, and none of this really matters. Because here comes the whole kitchen sink. We got Herald of Orange Light. We got Herald of Ultimateness that was searched off of the Alpha.
Should have went for... Forgot the Kuriboh. Should have went for Bathor. No,
not
dude.
The Kuriboh.
Not losing to the onboard Link Kuriboh like it's a remote duel, dude. Come on.
So, yeah, those guys who were there for... What was it? Was it the round 2 feature match? Kuriboh did end up winning this YCS here.
That is true. There was a Kuriboh victory.
Oh, man. You hate to see it.
I love to see it.
Well, Aratron Pass, I'm afraid, is not the most imposing of boards. Here comes Meteonis. We can just summon Herald of Ultimateness.
Mm-hmm. Come on, out my Aratron. We know you can do it.
I do wonder... Wait, Natasha wasn't properly summoned yet. I don't think. Oh, but we could just reduce the alpha because Natasha is conveniently 1,000 attack, so we can still
Interesting.
tribute away the alpha, or we can use Gamma first.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, we can go for a whole manner of things. I like the fact that Gamma, like all the Drytrons summon themselves in defense, but Gamma lets you summon the other one in attack position, which is really funny to me.
Yeah. 1-star, 2,000 attack monster coming in.
Yeah. Delta, draw 1. Can go for Natasha and then just
That's
we just BM. We can go Phoenix too.
fine. Fine, do whatever you want, dude. It's just so we're so far beyond any of this mattering. This will force out the
Wait.
drop if it is. Yep. Yeah.
Which it is, yeah.
Unsurprising. Pitching
Oh,
Ava.
that's the way to get rid of Ava, I guess.
So then we can go Orange Light.
We could get negated by Herald.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Come on, I opened Gamma, Meteorus, Manju, Ophiel, double drop. Yeah, that's pretty bad. You're right. I apologize.
That's quite bad. When you open the one of, I presume it's a one of Meteorus, and then not any of your good stuff. But see, like this is like where we were talking about earlier. Does like a Benton limit matter? Like there was no Bentons ever, and look what ended up happening. Like play basically uninterrupted, right? Because like Vanity's ruler was turned off.
Right.
There was like nothing. Well, I actually no. I guess there was a Herald to negate the Manju, so I guess there was one interruption. But...
Oh, it was Ben 10, not Manju. I see.
Oh.
Well,
there was
it's got to be something crazy. You got to beat Ultimateness plus Vanity's ruler. Seems unlikely.
Yeah. And what's interesting actually is that I guess Dragoon was an option the whole time turn 1, but maybe holding it to play around Droplet.
Wow, and it looks like that's going to be it. And that means that your YCS 12 champion is Cyber VX. If you were wondering why it says Cyber VX surrendered, that's because the names got screwed up. That happens occasionally on Edo Pro in best of threes. But I can assure you only one of these individuals brought Herald of Ultimateness. And wow, I mean, crazy match.
Yeah, so I hope that you look forward to revisiting Stun in the next 10-minute testing.
I guess
we'll be on the lookout for that.
I guess so, man. Oh, jeez.